Hello and welcome to Regi's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. Of course, I am your host. I am a renowned relationship coach, singles empowerment coach, and I'm also the author of the book, Love at First Spirit, which also comes with a workbook. It's a great book. If you haven't gotten it yet, you need to get it, but we'll talk about that later. You know, I always do my best every week to provide you with information that's going to empower you and to bring great guests. I've got a great guest on tonight, and we're actually part two from last week. So we're dealing with part two of a topic that we started this month about happy and healthy, being happy and healthy. And so we're going to go into part two today. Pick up probably where we left off last week and then discuss some new things. But before we get started and before I introduce my guest, I want to share something with you because I want to start a new movement, a movement for you women. And the movement, as you can see, it's I've got some t-shirts and hats. It's the one man woman. And when you see the male and the female symbol and you see our male and female make our, okay? So the one man woman is all about a movement for you women to say that you are a one man woman. That's what it's about. You are a one man woman. And if you stay tuned with me today to the end of our show, our segment, I'm going to show you how you can get your t-shirts. These are V-necks. They come in white and black as well. White and black, the one man woman t-shirts. But I also have them in tank tops where you'll see them in the tank tops in the white or black. But we're going to talk about that at the end. So you want to stay to the end because I'm going to be giving these away. I'm actually going to be giving some away, and I'm going to show you how you can get your one man woman t-shirt. And it's just going to be indicative. When you wear it, you wear your hat. I'm going to be giving a hat and t-shirt away, and when you wear that, it just shows the world that you are a one-man woman. That's it. You don't want no other man but the man that's in your life. Okay, so stay tuned for the end of the show. But you know, today I've got, and if you're going to be listening in Charlotte, I'm going to say today, but it'll be aired tonight on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte on tonight. But we're live Facebook right now, and my guest is world-renowned expert in the field of body work. He's a specialist in performance body mechanics, and he's also the CEO of Create Health Nevada. And so his name is Glenn Hall. He's my guest today. If you joined me last week, he provided us with so much information last week, but he's not done yet. We're going to pick his brain even some more. We're going to pull and glean from him as much as we possibly can and get as much information because he won't be back with us next week. But we gotta maximize our minutes and maximize our moments while we've got him on this week. Glenn, how are you, sir?
Great. Thank you for having me on the show.
Oh, man, Regi. I'm glad that you came back to be with us for another week. You gave so much information last week. You know, and I always, some way, somehow, because it's all about real talk, real relationships. This is what it's all about, Regi's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. Although we're talking about health and happiness, you know, I realize that scientific evidence suggests that being happy may have major benefits for our health. But not only that, being happy suggests a healthy lifestyle, which ties in to relationships, right?
It's very true.
I want you to, it's probably going to take up the remainder of our minutes that we have, but you know, you talk about these 10 natural laws that people should adhere to.
Yes.
Or these 10 natural laws that should govern us and that we should live by. Mm-hmm. I want you to talk to us about those 10 natural laws. In some way, somehow, I'm going to do my best to tie in relationships in there and how it works with men and women, okay, and how we become enlightened, empowered, and awakened and aware as, you know, being in a relationship, but how this healthy and happiness correlate together. So talk to me about these 10 natural laws.
Well, I think the first one is avoid poisonous foods.
You went there. You went for the jugular
I did.
immediately. Like he didn't. An airplane at least has a runway. It takes a while before it gets up to a certain height, and then when it gets up to that height, it will at least tell the passengers, put your seatbelt on, because there may be some turbulence. And then when it actually starts to smooth out, then the seatbelt light will come off. You went straight for it without the runway.
I was thinking more of the helicopter approach.
Okay.
Up and out.
So you said
Avoid poisonous foods is the first thing. In the natural laws of living, if you're out there in the real, in life, and you had to hunt for your food or you had to go pick for your food, you're not just going to eat everything there. You're going to eat things that are going to be sustainable for your body. When you do that, then your body becomes efficient, whether that's in the physical arena or in the emotional arena.
So, number one, he said avoid poisonous food. I gotta go here because what do you consider poisonous foods that you see us always we're always partaking in? What's considered poisonous?
I would consider the first one I would say is man-made foods.
Clarify.
Processed foods, canned foods, things that have been chemically treated with different types of ingredients that make something taste like an orange.
So when you say processed foods, man-made foods, what's one of the foods that immediately come to your mind?
Snacks.
Such as
Potato chips.
You got me on that one, Glenn. I am a big potato chip guy. Okay, so potato chips.
Yeah, you gotta figure how much benefit do you have? You pay more for the bag for the advertisement than you actually pay for a slice of a potato. So,
is there another food that comes to your mind, or something else that comes to your mind?
Well, we can get into any of the processed packaged foods that are out there, from noodles to grains that are bleached.
Glenn, you walking down my street today because you first of all said potato chips. I eat potato chips. And you said noodles. I like ramen noodles. I like,
pasta. Yeah, but people don't realize the process that it takes to make those. And then they're storage foods, right? Something for the winter, I guess. Back in the day when there were, we'll just go with the ancestors of the time, where winters came and they had lack of food somewhere. They would go grab the grain and bring it to their area and store it. And then they would utilize that food by taking a bowl, grinding the wheat in it, and then putting water in it, and then they would eat it. It would be its own ancient cereal. And that was back 10,000 years ago when agriculture took place. And that was also when the fall of our health began. So before that, we were hunters and gatherers.
Okay.
And hunters and gatherers were not running around in a wheat field eating the chaff or the wheat itself, the germ of the wheat. They were out looking for real protein, whether that was in a source of animals, or if it was in a right season, then maybe there were some tubers or things that, berries or things that were growing wild then to sustain life.
So let me ask you a question. You said that they were actually meat eaters.
Yeah.
Okay,
very
so
much.
There's always this argument about whether we should be, is it called
carnivores?
Carnivores.
Okay, yeah.
Or whether we should be or should not be.
Or being vegetarians or fruit.
Exactly.
And there were, if you look back over time, there were vegetarians that ate, but they didn't live. They died off about 13,000 years ago. And the hominids back then who actually survived were more, they ate more fat in their diet. So their brains increased and their intelligence increased.
So last week you talked about good fat and bad fat.
Good fat and bad fat.
Good fat and bad fat. And how do we clarify good fat?
Good fat would be your saturated fats. And also like anything from like coconut oils and avocado oils and things like that. Bad fats would be considered more the industrial seed oils, the things you cook with. For instance, canola oil, or grapeseed oils, things that had to be cooked and then processed so that it can have a stable shelf life. And those things are very pro-inflammatory to the human body. So whether you're cooking in them or they're put in the foods itself, like mayonnaises or other types of foods, and they use all these hydrogenated oils in even snacks, even in your potato chips. Okay. They have those oils in them, and they're very, very unhealthy for you.
Wow. Okay. So we got the first law is to stay away from poisonous foods.
Yeah.
I'm almost scared to ask you.
What's the
second law, Glenn?
Well, there are many laws. I'm not going to put them in a priority in here. I would say the second one is to avoid making stupid mistakes.
Right? That's kind of common sense.
It's common sense, but if we look at modern day today and we look at the roads out there, you have stop signs everywhere, you got red lights, you got crossroads, and yet these are the things that they have to put up because most people are not, they just don't have the awareness that you're not supposed to do something, and yet people still do it, right? Okay. If you were back in tribal time and you had some young guy decides, you know what, I'm going to go onto that cliff over there and do a triple somersault into the water, and he breaks his leg, the tribe has to try to take care of him as best as possible.
Okay.
Now remember, tribes move around. They look for hunting grounds, they look for new things. If someone is not capable of keeping up, eventually they fall away.
Do they leave them behind?
They will if they don't know what to do because they didn't have medicine and things back then. They might get an infection in the leg or the arm, or they just slow down the herd from moving forward, right? They slow down the people. And of course then there's predators out there that could go ahead and chomp on them, right? So they're going to all survive. They're going to try to take care of them, but in the long run, it's avoid making stupid mistakes, right? And in today's age, we do a lot of things like that. And it comes in so many variations.
Yeah, I was going to say that's layered. That's pretty layered, and I guess it's the perspective of what do we consider to be a stupid mistake? What would we consider today to be, quote unquote, a stupid mistake? And that could be really layered. Hey, you guys, you're listening to Reggie's Recess on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte, where you get real talk about real relationships. I'm your host, C. Reggie Rogers, and we're talking about tonight, you'll get it, we're talking about health and happiness, building from within. I'm going to give you a number here very, very shortly that you can call, and we'll actually take live calls because if you want to ask a question, a comment, we'll take some live calls here, and I'm going to give you a number. I'm going to actually give you two numbers here very, very shortly that you can call in. If you're viewing today on Facebook Live, the number for you to call in is 909-253-8808. That's 909-253-8808. And if you'll get this tonight, you're listening to 87.9 Heat FM. Your number to call in is 385-212-HEAT. That's 385 212-HEAT. That's for my audience in Charlotte who will listen tonight on 87.9 Heat FM. But if you're watching live, you got the number that you can call in. Want to hear your questions or maybe some comments. And so we're talking about these 10 laws that have to do with being happy, being healthy, and building from within. So the first 2 laws that Glenn gave us was 1, avoid poisonous food. 2, stop making dumb mistakes. That's what he says. Stop making dumb mistakes. And then again, it's about your perspective. What do we consider to be stupid or dumb mistakes? It's all about your perspective. So what's number 3?
Number 3, if we're is to move frequently.
Move frequently. Okay, clarify.
As a species, we move often. We do not really sit still. There's no chairs out in the woods. Sitting is a very, very unhealthy way to live. Our bodies grow fat with inactivity, and it leads to everything from heart disease to diabetes. And the more that we become stagnant, the less creative we become. The less we become as a human. We are animals. We still move. And in today's society, we are housed in just one area here, and we can isolate ourselves, and we have, fences and everything.
Okay.
So we're limited. But our real nature is to go out and move, whether it's going out and hiking, going out and playing, which would be a law, is to play.
And what would you say to someone who's been throughout this pandemic, because we've been quarantined, so we were very limited in terms of our movement, what we could do, what we couldn't do? What do you suggest there for somebody, and a lot are still being asked to be somewhat quarantined or limited in terms of what we do, where we go?
Right.
They're asking us to kind of tell off and not do what we used to do. So what would you suggest there?
Well, we're limited to movement outside of the home, but that doesn't mean we're still limited to movement in the house itself too. I mean, you can still get up and do something. You can exercise on the floors. You can stretch. You can do all the things that if you watch an animal do. They're always stretching when they get up. They're always moving around. It's still us. Even if we're tied into our house, you don't sit in front of a TV for 4 hours. You don't sit in front of a computer for that long. It's just not a natural thing. And the longer you sit, the slower your metabolism becomes, and of course then your body's not burning the fuel, and then that leads to other things. That leads to lack of sleep, because you have all this energy inside you and you're not doing anything with it. So it doesn't balance out your hormones in the body.
I think what you're saying is crucial from the standpoint of, if you tie that into a relationship, there should be movement from the standpoint of, the goal of a relationship is to keep a relationship adventurous. Because when the adventure dies, the relationship dies.
Yes.
And a lot of times the movement happens at the inception or at the infancy of a relationship, early on, when you're trying to get her, or when you're trying to get, when the two people are pursuing each other. They do the things early on to get each other.
There's an active.
They're
very, very active.
Exactly.
Right.
And then once they feel like they've gotten one another, it dies down. It becomes dormant.
It becomes dormant.
There's not a lot.
Yeah.
There's no movement. There's not a lot of adventure now. It's not adventurous anymore. And so I think we can tie that into relationships. There should be movement, madam or sir, in our relationships, because you can't let it just die down, no activity, nothing, and you just think that it's just going to work, and you start taking each other for granted. We do the body the same way. We take the body for granted, no movement, no activity, and we think the body's just going to stay healthy.
And that is an expression in itself too, right? So if you're stagnant, that's an expression. There's a saying that we like to use. Do you want to be the river, or do you want to be the pond? The river moves and the water is nice and clean. The pond is stagnant and algae builds up. Think of your body as the same thing, right? What is the choice that you would like to be? Do you want the clean water or do you want the stagnant pond?
Wow.
So that works either on an energetic level, whether it's with your relationship
Yes.
or with the physical part of your human body,
Yeah.
which is it. We do not want to be stagnant. It's not our nature.
You want to be in a good energetic space. That's since he used that word. You want to be able to be in a great space and a great place, and what he says energetically, being in a great where the energy is there's creating momentum. It's creating something that's vibrant. Because when you can create something that's vibrant, that's good vibes. Mm-hmm. And so now you're on a great frequency. And so when you're in what frequency are you operating from is very, very important. You want to be on a good space, good place energetically, so that frequency that you're operating from creates those great vibrations. And that's good movement, good vibrations. What was that Beach Boys song?
Good vibrations.
Yeah, you want to have good vibrations because that's important. And you can't let your relationships get stale or create that algae because it's just round in the pond. You want to be that river where it's flowing, because when it's flowing, it's going and there's movement. So now we got number 3. What's number 4 in terms of the natural laws?
Well, we can go with play then.
Play.
Right? Play is always good. It's great for creativity. It's good to raise your emotions up, to feel the adventure. It is part of us, and it's also an experience, right? Whether it's with children or it's with adults, there's always play. When you bring play in there, it brings joy to the mind and the body, and of course, the interaction too. At the same time, brings it. Now you're bringing a bond together when you're doing that, and then that of course brings into another natural law, which is socialization. Right?
Socialization.
And that is another law that would come in there. So it's very important.
So play and socialization. Mm-hmm. Okay, so listen, couples, don't be afraid to play together.
That's it. Whether it's badminton or it's playing checkers.
See, he's being kind. He's being very kind. He said badminton, which I haven't heard that game in a long time.
Croquet.
And then he said croquet. I haven't heard that one in a long time either. And then he even said checkers. Listen, couples, don't be afraid to play together, whether it's physically. Don't be afraid to play together, because he says it creates socialization.
Socialization is so important because they understood, even if you go back into the clan time, the average tribe was about 150 people. And that brings stimulation together. Everybody comes together around the campfires. They dance. They socialize, they tell stories, they sing. These are all things. And when you do this, people learn more. They gather more. They share more. And when you get into that, as opposed to someone who's antisocial, what happens is they end up becoming the weak link in the group. And they end up going on their own. And they're more risk at getting hurt. They're also less likely to engage and learn more. And they have studies now out there that say that if you do not do this, these people are more likely to get Alzheimer's disease and other types of mortality rates. It literally drops your age. It drops your longevity, your healthy longevity life. So socialization is extremely important from all perspectives, whether it's two guys practicing wrestling and their skills to go out into the world and survive, right? They're practicing for that real event. Or someone who's telling stories to pass on, the creativity that comes from it, and then art and music and all those things come into play. That brings life, that brings joy, that brings kindness and compassion and gratitude and all these things that lift our emotions up and make us who we are.
And, so many people, I see that we're in this season that we're in right now, and this time that we're in with the social distancing. There are a lot of people that I hear saying they're depressed. They are experiencing depression unlike any other times in their lives. And there's a number of reasons. Of course, unemployment rate is extremely high. People are furloughed. People can't buy food. People can't pay their rent. Different reasons. I get that. But that social distancing plays a huge part in this as well, because of the fact that we have been alienated and isolated. And so, when you just have all of this time by yourself, to yourself, there's no telling what you're thinking and what's going through your mind. And so what he's saying, how important socialization is. So listen, if you live at home with someone, again, it goes back, play. One person is upstairs on a computer, another person is downstairs doing something, and you guys are just in passing. But you're living in the same home. And then you're wondering why you want to see a relationship counselor or relationship coach, because there's no communication. Well, we were just talking about this last night, how communication is essential. And you guys are not communicating, so you're not socializing. You have to socialize. You're in the same home. Socialize. Have a conversation. Play together. He said play badminton. I'm saying you don't have to play badminton, but you can play some things that you two both like. How about make it interesting? Play strip poker. How about that? Make it interesting. I'm not saying, that's just an example, and I was being a little facetious here. But what the point is, socialize together so that you guys do some things together where you guys enjoy each other spending time together, and you create that adventure again. Got to go back so that you play, you socialize. Not only is it important for health and happiness, but in these relationships, you want to be able to create health and happiness in relationships. Not just individually, but now you guys are a couple. You want to be able to create that as well. You want to be able to have, and he used the word stimulation. I think you used that word. It stimulates. And that's what women love. You always say, he doesn't stimulate me. We're gonna come back on that just in a moment. Listen, you guys are listening to Reggie's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. On 87.9, you'll get this tonight on 87.9. Those of you watching me by way of Facebook, you're getting it live on Facebook. But it'll air 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. And we're talking about health and happiness. Building from within. Building from within. And my guest, he has been sharing with us some of these 10 natural laws that we should adhere to, are these 10 natural laws that should govern us, that we should live by, these 10 natural laws. And I want to give you a number. If you want to call, ask a question. If you're watching now live Facebook, your number is 909-253-8808. That's 909-253-8808. Any questions, any comments, call. We love to hear your question. We'll get that over to Glenn. And tonight, if you want to call 87.9 Heat FM, the number for you to call is 385-212-HEAT, H-E-A-T, 385-212-HEAT. We're going to get this all synchronized where when we're on Facebook Live, you'll also be hearing it live in Charlotte as well. Hopefully by next week, we'll be live in Charlotte and live on Facebook, all be synchronized together, okay? So that's the goal for next week. As you're getting it live, you're going to get it live in Charlotte as well. So Glenn, we were talking about stimulating, things that stimulate. What do you think becomes stimulating? What stimulates?
What stimulates? Okay. So that would bring us to another law.
Okay.
And believe it or not, this is, it's unusual, but it is very important for our health. And that's to lift heavy things.
Lift heavy things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what may be heavy for me may not be heavy for you.
Right.
So you have to know what you consider.
Lift heavy things can be anything from your body weight to just doing gardening outside.
Again, that goes back to being active.
It's just being active. But that's a stimulation. It brings the hormones up. It brings a sense of production and well-being when you do that. But it's also very good to keep your muscles on your body, right? And that's something that's very important, because the more lean muscle you have, the more energy you have.
Now that goes back to, for couples as well, for the bedroom, because our testosterone, men's testosterone levels drop as we get older.
That is so true.
So not only does it affect us physically, it also affects us in the bedroom.
Right.
And so we want to be able to stay at the optimum and be at our peak so that our women are satisfied. Mm-hmm. So how do we, again, that stimulates. It
stimulates, and actually it goes further, right? Your testosterone levels do raise up when you lift heavy things, at least twice a week.
I need somebody to bring me something heavy right now. Can somebody bring me something? I need something heavy, right? So our testosterone levels increase as we lift?
And it actually burns fat. And the more fat you burn, the more testosterone starts to produce. And it usually lays right here in the belly of the stomach. So, yes.
So what do you suggest for somebody listening? They want to say, well, what should I start lifting, or what would be a good starting point?
There are 4 essential moves that we should do throughout life. And they are in our program, actually, that we have, in our HEAL program. We teach that. And we teach modifications for people who might not be able to do this or do that. And they're everything. They're push and pulls exercises that you do. And you can do them anywhere. You can do them right here with this couch. You can do them on the floor. You can do them outside and do some form of pulling. And that's all you need. That is really all you need. And you should do that, like I said, twice a week.
Twice a week, yeah. Wow. And that'll increase our testosterone levels.
Very much.
And that'll give us, take away some of, you said, the fat?
Mm-hmm. It takes away the fat, and if you move frequently along with it,
the movement, okay,
that will help keep your metabolism at a faster pace to burn fat too. So that's another piece of the puzzle that comes along with it.
Wow. Okay. So I'm not sure what number we're on now, because you're giving me so much here. I'm going to start there. I'm going to say we're probably on 6 or 7. What's the other natural law that we should
use your brain?
You know, when you were saying how you talked about inactivity and things laying dormant, I immediately thought and went to the brain, because if we don't use our brain muscles too, that can lay dormant,
yes,
and that can create long-term issues.
Yes, like Alzheimer's, dementia, neurodegenerative diseases. It goes on. So using your brain, even as you get older, you always want to challenge yourself, because by using your brain, it stimulates other hormones. And it raises, like for instance, I just, about 4 years ago, I decided to go and learn to do public speaking. That's a challenge. And when you have to learn how to do it, it's a very strong stimulus, as you call it. It also raises your hormones up, your stress hormones up, because you have to meet the demands of it. So your body literally has to go into this new feeling of unknownness. And when you do, that's a new experience, and that creates new feelings. And once you start to do it over and over, it starts to strengthen you in your immune system, in your hormonal system. And then, of course, your brain is actively seeking out and changing these narrow receptors in the brain. It literally moves these neuroreceptor connections from an old pattern of dormancy to a new pattern. And as it does, that upgrades and upregulates your moods, your
Wow.
temperament, your personality, and it creates a new environment.
So with that being said, a lot of times in the home, when a couple or even a boyfriend and a girlfriend, moods fluctuate. You know, she feels like he really loves me. She feels like that today, but then tomorrow she's like, I don't know if he loves me. And then vice versa. Oh, she's really into me, and then tomorrow he maybe, I'm not sure she's into me or not.
Yeah.
Moods fluctuate.
They do. So self-empowerment is something, the emotional intelligence that we have to use to get out of our own way to produce a better way. And you create environment. There's a new science out there called epigenetics.
Okay.
And the epigenetics is creating your own environment. It's creating it's based off of what you produce inside you, and it changes your chemistry. There's a
So it's coming from within then. Is that?
it is. It's
okay.
way coming. It's definitely coming from within. You think about it in these terms. There's an epigenetist out there. Her name is Nessa Carries, and I think it's the book is called Epigenetics Revolution. I can't remember the title. I have the book, but in one part of her book, she talks about it in chapter 4, I believe on page 55. She gives a good scenario or an analogy to the way our gene expressions configure. And if you think of it, the genes are the actors and the actresses, okay? And then you have the screenwriting, which is your script.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your DNA, your script. And then you have the director. And when the script is given to the actor or the actress, it has all these different things, whether it's acting out a scene or creating trauma or drama or something to create the movie, right? And then you have the environment, which is the director. The director can turn around and tweak, take something out, or add something to it. And that makes the movie. So the movie can go in many different ways. You can have a couple of different directors, and they can make the movie different each time. We are the director. So we create the environment. And when we create the environment, it changes the gene expression inside ourselves, whether it's on a chemical basis, whether it's food consumption, whether it's choice of using your brain or not using your brain. All these things come in. The places where you live, who you socialize, all these things change your gene expression. And when you change your gene expression, it changes your state of being.
Wow. So you have some authority and you have some power individually as well as if you were a couple corporately. But if you change your expression, you change your being?
Yes, you literally change your DNA.
And that's building from, that is the epitome of building from within. You don't need a meteorologist to tell you what the forecast is going to be for you. You can tell yourself what your own forecast is going to be, so you become your own meteorologist and you determine and dictate what forecast you want. That's important. Right. That is so important, Glenn. I mean, that's very, very, very good information. So we're on what, number 8? Number 9?
Number 8, yeah. I know number 8, number 9, yeah. What would be another one? Well, sleep.
Sleep.
Getting good sleep. Now, all of these natural laws tie into sleep. Even when you're socializing, it brings you in a better mood and you sleep better. When you're connected to 10 of your friends that are the best friends or your family or your children, and you feel a sense of support, you feel loved, you feel all these things. When you lay down your head on the pillow tonight, you know you have the comfort of that and the sleep that comes from that, no matter what kind of stress is in your life. So connection with that and communication brings good sleep. Not along with what we talked about last week when we're in the circadian cycles of the seasons, whether it's the fall time or the summertime or the winter time, you adjust your sleep according. So say it's winter time, you probably want to go to bed maybe 4 hours after the sun goes down. Or if you're in the summertime, maybe 2 hours after the sun goes down, and be up at the break of dawn. This regulates your sleep patterns. And of course, that helps out on all your other levels, whether it's for fat burning, good moods, waking up in the morning, right? Your energy levels are high, all these things. So sleep is another essential natural law to take into perspective. And we know that a lot of people do not
get the proper amount of sleep
at all. There's insomnia, there's apnea, there's sleep apnea, there's so many different things. And we know as a society today, a lot of people don't sleep because of their stress and their worries and so forth, right? So that is another piece of the puzzle that we would say. So they're all focused on health, right?
Right. So you said if you get the proper amount of sleep and how you strategize when you sleep and when to arise, it has a lot to do with the mood you wake up in.
Yeah, very much. If you get good REM sleep at night, you're feeling very good. You're just the well-being. When you wake up in the morning, you feel alert, you feel alive when the sun hits your eyes and stimulates the serotonin, and you're just ready for the daily activities to come into play. But if you're not, that creates bad moods and swings and temperaments.
Is there a certain amount of hours you suggest?
They go back and forth, but anywhere from 7 to 9 hours is good. Everybody's different. Depends on your stamina. Depends on your health.
Right. So let's do away with that. Oh, I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed, and that's why I'm moody today. Listen, any side of the bed that you wake up on is a great day to be alive.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter what side of the bed you wake up on. Any side of the bed, the mere fact that you were able to wake up and to see a day that you have never seen before, and it's a new day, and you have the ability to make what you want to manifest that day, it's a great day to be alive. So
gratitude.
Gratitude. That has a lot to do with health too. Happiness, being thankful.
It's a big
being
thing.
happy suggests healthy lifestyles. So gratitude, being thankful.
Thankful, right? Get up in the morning. What's the first thing you do? Be grateful as you get up in the morning, right? You don't know how many people have passed away, but you got up today.
Yeah.
That's gratefulness, right? You get up today and know that your child is there ready to receive you, and you could think of so many ways to look at gratitude. And when you think of it that way, it literally takes you out of your own crap.
Think how many alarm clocks that went off and people weren't able to wake up. How many alarm clocks went off, and think how many people who spent and bought the best mattress that money could buy and they still didn't wake up. And yet you got up. Come on, you got to be grateful and thankful and show some gratitude. And then look at that day and determine in your mind that you're going to make and maximize every moment, and you're going to seize every opportunity and make the day what you want and manifest. Become a manifester. That's what you become, a manifester. Start speaking those things that be not as though they are, and call those things into your presence, and see you with yourself already being it, doing it, having it. See yourself being, doing, and having that you truly desire, because it's visualization. It's visualization that helps to create the manifestation. Okay? So become it before you are it. And in your mind, you are already it. So be it, do it, and think it. And it will be you. Does that make sense?
Become what you think.
Exactly. Become what you think. As a man thinks, so is he. Okay, let's not make that gender specific. As you think, so you become. Think it. The power of the mind is amazing. So I think we're probably on the last one. We're on probably 10 now.
Yeah, the last one I'm not sure about. It's more for the physical aspect of it, and that's sprint every now and then.
Sprint.
Yeah.
Sprint. Really, just get it out.
Get it out and sprint. It's like cleaning out the carbon out of your engine. Or going maximum to something in your exercise to raise up your all your adaptive hormone genes come into play. It's triggering. It's keeping you alive. There's many benefits behind it. It doesn't have to be going out in the field and sprinting. It could be in many forms. You could go ahead and get on a bicycle and do that. You can go on rowing. You could go do burpees, going up and down. There are many ways to get your heart rate going, and then you do that, and that also manifests some incredible benefits to keep you gracefully growing old in life.
Wow, sprint. You just gotta go. Sometimes you just gotta let it out.
Get it out of you.
Get it out.
And when you get it, and you do that, every 7 to 10 days. Just get it on out. And what that like I said, it raises your immune system up. It changes your gene expression. It raises your organ reserves. So your organs say, "Oh my God, what did you just do to me? I better pump myself up and make myself stronger so that if he ever does that again to me, or if she does that again to me, I'm going to be ready for it." And that raises everything up. Your health, your immunity, and not to mention it burns fat 3 to 4 hours after you finish that. So that's what longevity strategy is to have strength and to have no fat on you, or as lean as possible. Right? That would probably be the two things that people want to feel good about themselves. Right. And then, of course, that leads into all the other different natural laws in there.
Wow.
So those are I believe that's 10 of them. I don't know.
10.
I'd have to have someone tell me. Anybody was counting, please let me know.
Listen, we're going to start winding down here, but if you want to call in, if you're watching us on Facebook Live, the number for you to call is 909-253-8808. That's 909-253-8808. And if you're going to be listening tonight on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte, number for you to call is 385-212-HEAT. 385-212-HEAT. We're on every Wednesday night in Charlotte, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, that's on 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte. Glenn, I'm going to actually, I'd love to give away, this is my brand, and I want to give away, it says one man woman. So you see the male symbol and the female symbol, one man woman, but they equal to, when a man and a woman come together, it's our. And so I want to start a movement for you ladies, in particularly called the one man woman movement. That just simply means you are a one-man type of woman. You don't need several. You're a one-man type of woman. And so I want to give this away. I'm going to actually give 2 sets away with a hat. How do you get it? You'll be able to get a set you'll be able to get a T-shirt and a hat. I'm looking for some great upcoming topics for our shows for the rest of the year. I'm going to select the 2 best topics from what you send in to me, and you can instant message me on Facebook. Just instant message me and give me some topics that you think will be great topics that you'd like for me to discuss. You see how good this looks together? Hat. I mean, you get this for the remainder of the summer, so you can get it in white. Let me see that one over there, Glenn. I also have the tank tops as well as the regular tees. You can get them here. So I'm going to give two people, a white one or a black one. You pick which one you want. And but I want you to instant message me with some topics, whatever topics you like to hear me discuss, and some guests that you'd like to see me bring on to discuss those topics. Just instant message me, okay? That's what I want you to do. Instant message me the topic. See Regi Rogers on Facebook, okay? Instant message me. I know that you'll be listening to this in Charlotte tonight. You won't be able to see the t-shirts. You won't be able to see the t-shirts or the hats. And so this is for my Facebook crowd. Of course, this is my Facebook crowd. So here's what I'd like to see happen. I'd like to see you give me some great topics. And for those of you who just say, I just want one of the t-shirts, I just want a t-shirt and a hat, I want to be a part of this movement, this women's movement, because yes, I am a one-man woman. That's my philosophy. That's who I am. I want to start this movement. I want you to share this with your friends, because I want to see women wearing these shirts and hats all over. I'm a one-man woman. If you feel like that's you, you can go to www.onemanwoman. That one man is spelled a little different. It's WONMAN. WONMAN, onemanwoman.com. And I've got all the products, the t-shirts and hats there. If you don't want to give me a topic, you just want to get a t-shirt, okay? So as we're getting ready to start wrapping up here pretty soon, Glenn, why don't you tell about the program that people can get?
We have a HEAL program, and you can go on to createhealthnevada.com. And there's the HEAL program. And then we also, I would like to give a gift today, and that is the 5-day challenge, Get Up and Move challenge. And we talked about inactivity there, and we have a free gift where you can go in and go into Create Health Nevada /5-day challenge. And you can sign up for that. And you can get the videos, and we can show you different things in there, everything from dancing to even exercises in the house.
That's Create Health Nevada
/5-day challenge.
5-day challenge. Okay, so you guys, he wants to get you involved in that. Get active. We talked about how important being active is. It's going to give you a program that will be tailor-made and fit. That'll fit you. It'll be tailor-made for you. And also, too, I'm going to give you this 21-day challenge that I want you to get involved in, this 21-day challenge for you ladies. And the book, Love at First Spirit. Love at First Spirit is all about seeing through someone to get to someone. So you get an understanding of who you're bringing into your life. But first of all, you have to have that relationship with yourself intact, knowing who you are, because you can't love somebody else if you don't love yourself. It's important for you to love yourself. And you can't get along with somebody else if you cannot get along with yourself. So it's important that you find out about yourself going through this 21-day challenge, as well as with the book, Love at First Spirit. Now, you can find that book on www.cregirogers. That's C-Regi, R-E-G-I-R-O-D-G-E-R-S, cregirogers.com. I know we gave you guys a lot of information. We gave you guys a lot of websites. But the One Man Woman movement, very simple. One Man Woman, W-O-N-M-A-N, woman. onemanwoman.com. That's the One Man Woman movement. You can go there, see products. Glenn, Create Health /5-day challenge. Create Health /5-day challenge. And to get the book and the 21-day challenge, C R-E-G-I Rogers, RODGERS.com. Got all that information?
Yeah, yep. And if you're interested in the HEAL program, it's on the website too, which is your whole body makeover. And that's the HEAL program that we have in store too. So if you're interested in that, where it goes through all these different areas to change your life, for the betterment and to lift your spirits up. Would be a nice benefit to add into this 21-day challenge, Love at First Spirit, with Regi Rogers.
Glenn, it's been a pleasure having you as my guest for the second week. Part two. Part two was just as good as part one.
Thank you.
And you took us higher, part two, than you took us in part one. I didn't think we can go any higher than we went part one, but you took us even higher.
Yeah, just different things, right?
In part two, I told you what somebody wrote in and said you have a very quiet, patient. You seem very patient and quiet, but yet knowledgeable.
Oh, well, it's nice to hear.
So, yeah, very quiet, patient, but yet knowledgeable. And so, Glenn, thank you so much. We're going to be back next week. I've got another great guest as we finish off this month talking about health and happiness. Health and happiness and building from within. So we'll be back next week. Same place, same station, same time. 87.9 Heat FM Charlotte and Facebook Live. So thank you guys so much. Please like this, and I want you to share this. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel by going to see Regi, R-E-G-I, Rogers, R-O-D-G-E-R-S, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have some content there on the YouTube channel, and you'll also be able to find this program on our YouTube channel as well. Tell as many people as you can about it. If you enjoyed it, share it with your friends. Don't be selfish. Don't just keep it to yourself. Share it with someone else and let them know about Regi's Recess, where you get real talk about real relationships. We've got to go. We'll be back next week. You guys have a great rest of the day.